Welcome to this Yoga Sissel video. So this is part 3 in the Yoga Sissel series for beginners. We're exploring the twists today. So we'll play around, we'll twist the spine and notice the relationship between what happens in the pelvis and what happens in the shoulders as we twist along the spine. So let's get started. See you on the mat. So we're going to use a block for this one. It can be helpful to bring the floor a little bit closer in some of the postures. And then we're going to start at the top of the mat in our Tadasana, mountain pose. So either the feet together, or if you feel more balanced, have the feet hip distance. Standing nice and tall, as if you're trying to push the knees a little forward. Your knees are straightening and bending at the same time. The front and the back of the legs are engaging, the buttocks tone. The spine long, sides of the body long. And then from here, with an inhalation, the arms float up, reaching up, maybe the palms touch, and then tucking your chin, curling from the top of your spine, knees bending, all the way down, fingers to floor, head to knee. Eyes forward, heart forward, and curling in. Soften the knees, they push forward, the buttocks firm, roll up. A gentle salute to warming up the spine, and we're going to curl all the way down. Fingers to floor, head to knee. Fingers on the mat, the heart forward, the eyes forward, and curling in. So you might like to bring the block closer this already. Bring the block out in front, and then placing your left hand on the block. Knees as bent as they need to be, and then inhaling, the right arm peels up. Twisting the spine, and then you're going to curl all the way down. Fingers on the floor, heart forward, gazing forward, and then curling in. Second side, right hand on the block, and peeling your left hand all the way up. Being very careful not to swing your butt to the side that you're twisting to, but rather keeping the bum pointing straight back, and then curling your hand down. Fingers to the floor, head to your knees, placing the block to one side. Now sink your bum as low as it goes, squatting into your chair pose, and then uncurling the spine. You float up into your chair pose. Squeezing the bum, press yourself up to standing, and then we're going to curl down once more. Fingers to floor, head towards the knees. Heart forward, gazing forward, and curling in. Bending into your knees, once more, chair pose, curling up, and this time bring your hands into your prayer position. We're going to add on some twists. So let your left hand push into the right, curl and twist towards the right, left elbow to the right knee. Come back to center. Letting the right hand push into the left, curl, twist, and tap the right shoulder, the right elbow to the left knee. Coming back to center. And you're going to curl all the way down, fingers to floor, head to knee. Fingers on the floor, eyes forward, heart forward, and stepping your left leg back, bring the knee to the floor. So it's a fairly short stance. Your front shin is perpendicular to the floor, the back thigh is perpendicular to the floor. Sweeping the hands up like a marriage proposal lunge. Good. Now keeping your hips exactly facing forward, twisting just the upper body towards the right. Opening your arms. Be careful that you don't let your butt stick out to the side. You're going to pull the butt underneath. Tuck it in. And then circling your arms back to center. Now it's a bit of a balance, so you really need to firm your buttocks to help firm your foundation. And then you're going to twist to the left. Again, without letting the butt poke out. And coming back to center. And then you're going to bring your hands to the floor. Step back to your downward facing dog. Lift your heels up high, bending your knees low. Rolling along the spine to your high plank. Bring your knees to the mat. Sit back onto the heels for a bit of an active stretch. Good. I call this puppy stretch. Toes are tucked under. Arms are engaged like they would be in downward facing dog. From here, we're moving to the floor. So inhaling, squeezing your buttocks. Let your buttocks press you up, roll you forward, and down to the floor. Belly on the mat. Pointing the toes. And then lifting your hands off the floor. Lifting your chest, your shoulders, your head, buttocks squeezing, pressing the pelvis into the floor. And then lower back down. Squeezing your buttocks, push up to your knees, and tuck the toes, sit back onto your heels. Squeezing your buttocks, roll forward to your knees, and then lifting the knees and roll back to your down dog. And stepping your right foot 2/3 of the way forward. Angle the left heel to the mat, and rolling up, firming the buttocks up to a warrior one. So it's a fairly short stance. This will help keep the pelvis facing forward. Bending into the front knee, drawing the hands to the heart. Keep the front knee bent. As you push your hands together, lean forward. And then as you pull your hands back towards your heart without lifting your spine, straightening the front leg, and then pour yourself down over the front leg. Head towards the knees. Fingers on the floor, so let your front knee be as bent or as straight as it can be. Heart forward, gaze forward. The spine lengthens. And we curl back in. So we're going to come into a variation of our triangle pose, but with twist along the spine. So grabbing your block, placing your block to the outside of the right foot, leaving the right hand on the block, and there's lots of heights. So there's the lowest height, second, and third being the highest. And then keeping your buttocks toned, the hips still, peeling with an inhalation, the left arm all the way up, opening your chest to the left, and then lengthening your armpit away from the right hip, the right armpit away from the right hip, and you're going to curl back down. Fingertips all the way to the floor, head all the way to the knee. Heart forward, gaze forward. And then bring your block to the inside. So again, you know which height you prefer. And then the left hand is on the block. And with an inhalation, we peel the right arm up, the hips staying as still as possible. And in this position, we're trying to lengthen the right side of the ribcage away from the right side of the hips. So creating length. And then curling down. Fingers to floor. Again, head to knee. Looking forward, walking your hands forward, stepping your feet together, and curling in. We'll do the second side. So sinking your hips as low as you can, floating up to your chair pose, hands to your heart. And then we're going to start curling to the left side first. The right hand presses into the left. Curl and tap to the left knee without letting your butt stick out. So keeping your bum pointing straight back. And come back to center. Second side, curling and tapping to the right. And come back to center. And rolling down, fingers to floor, head to knee. Heart forward, gaze forward. And we're stepping the right leg back. Knee to the floor. So again, our marriage proposal lunge, reaching up. And then keeping the hips still, we're twisting to the left first. Maybe you look to the back hand. And circling the arms, coming back to center. The hips stay still, buttocks tone, and we twist to the right. Circle the arms, come back to center. And then bring your hands to the floor, and you step back to your downward facing dog. We roll forward, high plank, knees to the mat, sit back onto your heels. Sit bones trying to touch the heels. And then squeezing your buttocks, rounding your spine. Roll forward and down to your bellies. Pointing the toes. This time you might like to keep your hands on the floor, Shoulders lift away from the floor. And then lifting the rib cage, the heart, the gaze. Remember to keep those buttocks squeezing. Legs engaged. And then curling back down. Tucking the toes, squeezing the butt, push up. Sit back onto your heels. Now this time, instead of coming forward, keep your hands on the mat. Begin to lift your knees and slowly, gently straightening your legs. And from here, we're going to step the left foot 2/3 of the way forward and the right heel to the mat. Front knee bends, firm the buttocks, roll the spine up. Warrior one, nice and short, hips face forward. Hands to the heart. And pressing the palms together, lean forward. Good. Front knee still bent for now. And the hand to the heart, the front leg straightens. From here, you can pour yourself towards the floor. Fingers on the mat for now. Eyes forward, heart forward. And curling in. Grabbing your block, placing it to the outside of your front foot. Again, knowing which height of the block makes it most appropriate for you. Keeping the buttocks still, the pelvis still. Inhaling, the right arm peels up. Left hand on the block. Lengthening the left armpit away from the left hip. Curling the hand down. Fingers to floor, head to knee. Heart forward, gaze forward. We lengthen out the spine, we square off the hips, and we curl back in. Bring the block to the other side. So this is our revolved triangle pose, a closed belly twist. Right hand to block, and curling your left hand all the way up. This time it's the left hip away from the left rib cage. And then you're going to curl back down. Fingers to floor, head to knee. Heart forward, gaze forward. Walk your hands a little forward, and then stepping your feet to the top of the mat. Curling in. Soften the knees, pushing the knees forward, firming your buttocks. You're going to roll all the way up. Saluting the sun, stretch, maybe palms touch. And we're going to curl all the way down. Finger on the floor, head to knee. Eyes forward, heart forward. And then stepping your left leg back to a long lunge. So this time we're taking the lunge a little bit longer. Beautiful. Again, if you need, bring the block to the inside of the front foot. Bring the floor closer. Keeping the legs really nice and strong. So you're pressing the front knee forward and you're pressing the back heel back. Good. Squeezing into your buttocks so you press down into the floor. And then peeling your right arm all the way up. Again, notice if you want to stick your butt out, pull the butt in, tuck it underneath. And then bring the hand down. This is going to get a little bit stronger, this one. Bring the block to the inside of the front foot. Bring the back heel to the mat. Again, without sticking the bum out. The leg doesn't move. Tuck your right sit bone underneath. Right hand to block. And peeling your left hand all the way up. And bring the hand down. Placing the block to one side. Lower the back knee. Marriage proposal lunge. Curling up. Now we're going to combine a lot of things we've been doing. So in our short marriage proposal lunge, squeezing your buttocks to keep yourself stable. Hands at your prayer position. Pressing your left hand into the right. Twisting you around to the right. And then bring your left elbow to the right knee. Now you might stay here and this might feel strong enough, challenging enough. You might be able to twist yourself a little further. Maybe you notice the elbow slides down the outside of the leg. And you might stay here. If you'd like to add another level of challenge, you can try to take the back knee off the floor. Without sticking your butt out, keep the bum in. And then lower the back knee to the floor. Uncurl. Stretch it up. Well done. Hands to the mat. Downward facing dog. And coming forward to your plank. Knees to the floor. Sit back onto your heels. Squeezing your buttocks, rounding your spine, shifting forward and down to your bellies. Pointing the toes. Taking your arm bones away from the floor so your shoulders lift, away from the mat. Squeezing the buttocks, lifting the rib cage, the chest, the heart, the head, and lower back down. Pushing up to your tabletop, tucking the toes, sitting back onto your heels, and with your hand pressing down into the floor, begin to lift your knees, and straighten back into down dog. And from our down dog, lifting the heels up high, bending the knees down low, and we're stepping to the top of the mat, fingers on the floor, heart forward, gaze forward, curling in. One more time, heart forward, gaze forward, this time stepping the right leg back, long lunge. Beautiful. If you like, and if it was helpful on the first side, you're taking your block to the inside of the front foot, and you're pressing the front knee forward, the back heel back, legs nice and strong, buttocks squeezing, keeping your foundation stable, and then you're going to peel your left arm, all the way up. So I lunge with a twist. And then bring your hand down. Keep your front leg as it is, just turning the back heel to the floor. Bring the block maybe a little closer to the front foot. Left hand onto the block, inside of the front leg. Squeezing into your buttocks, keeping your foundation strong and peeling your right arm all the way up. And curl all the way down. The back heel lifts, lower the knee to the floor. Block to one side, we're back in our marriage proposal lunge, sweeping up. And we bring our hands into our prayer position. Squeeze your buttocks so you feel the spine upright, front shin perpendicular, back thigh perpendicular. And we're taking the twist to the left side. So the right hand presses into the left. We curl, twist, and tap the elbow onto the knee. And this might be where you stay, perfectly fine. You're in a lunge with a twist. You might be able to take it a little deeper where your elbow was sliding past the leg. Still a lunge with a twist. Keep the palms pressing together, elbows apart. And if you went deeper, you lift the back leg. Letting your buttocks support you from the pelvis to the feet. And lowering the back knee. Untwist, stretch up. And the fingers, hands to the floor, downward facing dog. Last flow. Roll forward to your plank. Knees to the mat. Sit your butt back for your puppy stretch. Squeezing your buttocks, rounding your spine, roll forward and down to your bellies, pointing the toes. Squeeze the buttocks, firm the legs, and lifting your elbows, lifting your rib cage, lifting your chest and shoulders. And lowering back down. Push up, tuck the toes, sit back onto your heels. The hands press down, slowly begin to lift your knees, peel it back to your downward facing dog. Feeling your hands strong, the legs strong. From here, lifting your heels up high, bending your knees down low. Walk or step to the top of the mat, fingers on the floor, heart forward. Curling in. And for here, take your feet hip distance. Let your knees bend and your belly rest on your thighs. Hold on to your elbows. Just take a moment. You might be able to dangle a little from side to side, swaying, hanging like a Raggedy Ann doll. Imagine your head is like a heavy watermelon, hanging down towards the floor. And then after a few moments here, release your fingers back to the mat, heart forward, gazing forward, lengthening the spine, curling back in. Firming at the buttocks, soften the knees. As you press the knees forward, squeezing your buttocks, rolling up along the spine for one last salute. Sweeping the hands up, maybe the hands touch. And then bring your arms along your side. And maybe this is where you finish your yoga practice for today. Or you might like to stay on your mat and join me for the next video.